Over the last 48 hours or so, I've been sitting in this room just forever. I've been trying to solve this soft lighting technique. This setup might look a lot better than it normally does. This image looks amazing, right? I think it looks pretty good. And the reason this might look better than it normally does is because I tried to implement a lighting technique that, while it's not new, and in fact, many people have done this before me, I'm a fairly new, just relatively, I'm a fairly new cinematographer. I've been doing filmmaking for 10, 15 years, but I haven't been serious, extremely serious about my cinematography until maybe the last couple years or so. So I'm still learning, I'm still gaining new skills and techniques. And while I was scrolling through the internet, just perusing the World Wide Web, I'm obsessed with filmmaking, like many other filmmakers. And I was looking through these techniques, for this cinematography techniques. And of course, because who else would come up but my boy Roger Deakins, right? We all love Roger Deakins here, okay? This is a Roger Deakins stan YouTube account, okay? I will die for that man, okay? He's just the sweetest guy. He's so chill, and I just love him. I bet all of you love him as well, okay? Because we're all in the same boat here. But the technique that I found it's called Cove lighting. Now, many of you already know that Cove lighting is incredibly unique and very cinematic. While the concept behind it is super simple, in practice, it's a lot harder to achieve than you might think. Especially when you're someone like me who doesn't have any money, who doesn't have $100,000 of camera gear or lighting equipment. Finding this technique, I felt like I had to try to recreate this. This video is totally different than what I've done in the past. I've wanted to do stuff like this before. I didn't feel like there was a really good and motivating jumping in point for cinematography stuff, because there are so many other cinematographers on YouTube and in the world that are not only better than me, more experienced than me, and just know so much, but there wasn't really a technique or a style that I really felt like I could emulate by myself. Because all of the stuff that I know how to do is all things that require full crews or a grip team. When I saw behind the scenes images of Roger Deakins setting up this cove, I was blown away because it just looked so simple to me. I was like, I could do this, you know? I might not have anything, but I could probably find something in my house to just come up with a makeshift one. I mean, I think I did. Personally, I feel like this works and it looks really good. And I'm super happy with how this has turned out for the setup that I have going on here. Don't worry. I'll show you what I have set up here. It is horrible, okay? It's so bad. I was talking to my boy Jaxler, and I mentioned to him, I said, listen, once we get our $1 million movie, our big feature film that we're gonna be DPs on, we're gonna have $1 million budget, and our sets are still gonna look like this. I feel like I've learned just so much over the last 24 to 48 hours. When people say, practice makes perfect, it's a very unique feeling when you're able to achieve something that you didn't think was possible or that you didn't know that you were capable of. While I've been working as a DP and I've worked on some sets and I have experience and I've been a cinematographer for a couple of years, a lot of my kind of visual style has been very aesthetic driven, where I feel like I have that internal kind of aesthetic compass that drives me towards what I feel is the most, visually pleasing thing. Sitting down, working through this was like a problem from school. I had very clear instructions. I watched I don't know how many YouTube tutorials on how to set this up. I just sat down and I just tried it. I think it turned out. But it took me a long time. Like I said, it's been 48 hours. I've been working on creating this setup for so long that it's all I can think about now. Don't hate me for this, okay? But this is how you know I'm serious about this. My parents asked me if I wanted to go see the Killers of the Flower Moon, the new Scorsese movie, and I turned them down. I said, I can't go. I can't go because if I go, I'm gonna be distracted because I'm thinking about all this and I'm not gonna have a good time. So you know I'm legit about doing all this, okay? I was very, very motivated to finish this and to make it turn out the way that I thought felt right, but also matched kind of that Roger Deakins style. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm happy with myself. I didn't know if I could do this, especially with what I have. I have literally barely anything in this room, and you'll see how it looks. It's so bad. When I first started, I couldn't get the wrap to work. I don't know why. Well, I know why now, but at the time I wasn't sure as to why the wrap wasn't pulling all the way across my face in a way that didn't seem kind of real or like realistic. It didn't look like the lights were happening naturally in the room, or that I was being lit naturally by the light within the room. Like in this first shot here, it's very clearly a split lighting. Now it's not super harsh, it definitely has some softness to it. Like you can see that it's very kind of split down the middle. I have the right side of my face very, very bright, and the left side of my face very, very not that bright. But it's a very kind of flat image. I just wasn't getting the wrap. I wasn't getting the soft wrap. My next try was a lot closer, but still not all the way there. I'm a big fan of hair lights or rim lights or kickers. I think they're a lot of fun, and I think they add a lot more dimension, and I'm also a big fan of using color. You can tell that I still have that that split at first. But then once I started to add in a couple more lights, I'm getting a lot better of a wrap here. As you can see, like I turned on with that last light, but it just wasn't enough to fill in what I was looking for. And my biggest problem with this attempt is that I felt like it was way too sourcey. This shot is much closer to what I was expecting or what I was looking for with this first key light here. Then once I added in the two supplemental lights, it's so good. I feel like I nailed it. Like this shot looks so good to me. I did it. I think I did it. And it feels real. It feels unique. Now, that was day one. Now here's the behind the scenes. Little bit of the setup tour. Here's the setup tour. Okay. So this is the first light that I used. It's literally, you can see, right? It's literally just hanging on by a millimeter on the top of the little thread here. These are the LEDs behind my computer, and then I had them bounce up off the top of the ceiling to kind of just give the back of the room a little bit more unique kind of vibe. Now this is where I sat. So I'm just sitting in like a little plastic chair. I got my nice chair in the background for aesthetics. During this, I didn't have any negative fill, so I used this old suit bag. Now this is my Cove. Take a look, take a gander. It's so bad. Now you're asking me, Matt, how did you do that with such a bad setup? First of all, I only had this one sheet, and it was not big enough or long enough to do the whole kind of semicircle. And so once I added in this second source, which it's not even the same color. But yeah, this is my little Cove. But yeah, I just had these, I had two panels, these two basic LED panels on some boxes, pointing up into the sheets and blanket. And I had this one softbox as my key, these two as the fills, and just the supplemental lights. Yes, I don't have any sandbags, and so I have a plastic bag with some bottles of water in it. But yeah, this is the whole setup, and that was for night one, or day one. Now, I ended up wanting to try a daytime version, and this first version, I didn't feel like the lighting was right. I just didn't like this look. I don't know if this looks too sourcey or not. I can't tell on the tiny little camera monitor. It looks good on camera, but I can't tell if it looks great. You know, is it Roger Deakins worthy? I don't know. And so I ended up just going all in on the more orangey look, and I think it looks a lot better. Now, you've been yelling at me this whole time, Matt, where are the practicals? Roger Deakins would never do a Cove lighting setup without a practical. So finally, I put one in. Just by the first light, look at this. Just the first light alone. Adding that key in, and then adding these second two. Oh, man, that looks nice. Now that looks good. So this shot looks good, but I hadn't achieved what I wanted to achieve. I hadn't become like Roger Deakins. I was just emulating him. So I watched 2 YouTube videos where Roger Deakins talks about, you know, his cinematography. And I just, you know, I felt like he was channeled through me, you know, like it's like that scene when in Harry Potter 9 or 8 or 7 or one of them, maybe it's 5, where Harry sees what Voldemort sees and feels what Voldemort feels. That was like me, but with Roger Deakins. But I could feel the connection. I could feel it in my blood. And so I dropped my ISO down. I adjusted the lights a little bit, and it's perfect. It's amazing. It just looks so much better than I ever thought it ever would. I have the lamp on here. Now it looks great with the lamp on. But then when I turn the lamp on, you realize how actually lit the room is. Like, but this is the shot that changed it. When I looked at this shot, I thought to myself, I said, this feels like real. Creating an image that feels real is much harder than I ever thought. In an environment like this, creating an image that feels real was so much more difficult than I ever expected it to be. But that's what caused it to be so meaningful once I figured it out. Once I was able to achieve the look that felt like I wasn't looking at a lighting setup, that's when it all clicked. And I instantly felt relieved and satisfied. And it was such a unique, really, really cool feeling to sit there and be like, this just feels right. And not just that it feels right, but that I achieved an actual technique. I didn't just emulate it. I didn't just copy it. I created something that felt original. Me doing Cove lighting is not like an original idea, but the process of learning, setting it up, going through it, adjusting, changing things, evolving the set, evolving the look, that was what was original. It felt like a truly unique experience. I'm super appreciative that I was able to achieve this. It's hard to come up with the words because of how kind of meaningful this moment is for me. It's very weird. I just feel very proud of myself. This took a turn that I wasn't expecting. It was fun. This was fun. And get this, is my birthday today. So it just so happens that I was able to do this on my birthday, which was really fun. Man, what a good ending to today. Makes me happy. Now, I know I might be a little bit of a rambler, okay? I'm sorry about that. This was a great experience. I highly recommend everybody try this. If you're a filmmaker, if you're just getting started, or if you're a veteran, go home. If you don't have any of the equipment, all you need is you need 2 or 3 lights and a bed sheet, and you can do this. Gosh, it's so cool. This is such a cool thing. Not just the technique, but just the experience of learning. And learning in a way that is meaningful to yourself. It just feels cool. It's so hard to explain. I love this. This is amazing. Anyways, thank you for watching. I know this was a lot different than what I've normally done. But I think this could be a really good first episode type thing of maybe a new type of video where I just dive into cinematography. I just think it would be really fun because it would give me a chance to practice my cinematography and my abilities while also being entertaining and hopefully a learning experience for everyone. I would not have done this video had I not seen other people do this. Like I said, many of you probably already know all about this type of stuff. You've been working in the industry for years. You know all of these lighting techniques. But as someone who's still fairly new to the industry and who's still learning every single day, this is such a fun and cool thing for me. I hope there's somebody out there that's watching this video and that goes, dude, if this guy can make this really nice Cove lighting with a bed sheet, a blanket, 3 lights, and an old suit bag, then I could do it. If I can make this, and this is horrible, then you can make it. And you can make it even better than I can, okay? Now, big announcement. Woo, woo. Listen, I mentioned a video or two ago that I may or may not have a new short film coming out. I may or may not be the lead actor. I may or may not be the co-director. I also may or may not be the cinematographer / co-cinematographer. Hey, maybe. We just officially announced the film on social medias, besides YouTube. And we have an Instagram page called, it's at procession_film. You can go and you'll be able to see a lot of the stuff that we have already posted there. Like, for example, we posted these previs images. Just me and my buddy Jaxler, we went out and we just took some shots. We set up 2 lights, just 2, and we took these previs images to kind of emulate what we're trying to go for with the short film, visually speaking, and I think we nailed it. I highly recommend going over and following the page. We also officially announced a GoFundMe. I mentioned one a while back, but we've gone deeper and we made a much more interesting and engaging page. It would mean a lot if you guys just checked it out. You don't have to donate or anything, but if you do, you get bonus stuff. You get behind the scenes stuff. Highly recommended. If you pay a lot of money, you can get some cool stuff. So go do that. But you don't have to. It would mean the world to me if you just took a look, and that's all you need to do. Just go look at it. If you like it, maybe you follow. If you really like it, maybe you just accidentally hit the 3 numbers on the back of the credit card on the donation button. Hey, could be a tax write-off donating to charity. I mean, I could use it for real. But anyways, thank you for watching. This has been a wholly new and fun experience for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. Hope you liked this type of video. If you did, let me know. I'd love to do more of this type of stuff. They're a little bit more intricate and harder to set up and do, but I feel like I got so much enjoyment from this, much more than some of the other videos I've done. And so I am a big fan of this stuff. So if you want more, just let me know. Subscribe for more. I got more content coming. I'm gonna be trying to not be lazy, and I'm gonna try and make videos as often as I can. So stick around. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done this setup and what you learned from it. What were some of the things that you gained from doing this setup the first time you ever did it? Like the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. My name is Matt, and this is Understanding Cinema. Peace!